Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favourite summer cakes. It's orange blossom and rosemary sponge cake with fresh strawberries. Everything about this is kind of wow. It's like wow visually, it's a real hero cake. The sponge has orange blossom through it, which is so delicate and summery and light. I'm going to line the base of my cake tins with fresh rosemary so it infuses into the sponge, and then the cream is going to be scented with a little bit of orange blossom, tons of strawberries on top of it, and some orange zest. It really is delicious. So the recipe is in the link below, and come join me in the kitchen. So to make my orange blossom and rosemary sponge cake with fresh strawberries, you will need plain or all-purpose flour, caster sugar, superfine sugar, and icing sugar or confectioner sugar, depending on where you're watching from. Unsalted Irish butter, some good quality eggs, orange blossom mortar, and then you need your raising agent, which is baking powder, strawberry jam and fresh strawberries. And then I use double cream or whipping cream, fresh rosemary and orange for their zest. Now I'm making a 3-layer, but if you don't want to do a 3-layer, you can just, divide the recipe by 1/3, or if you want to do just 2 layers, just divide the recipe by 2/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is blend together the superfine or caster sugar with the unsalted butter. You could do this by hand as well. Here's the sugar, the butter. Look at the colour of this butter. Look how yellow it is. It's because the cows are outdoor reared and grass fed. So when it's all creamed together like this, let's take it off your mixer. I'm going to crack in my eggs. So I'm going to do one at a time. Now I'm weighing up my flour, my plain all-purpose flour. They're all equal quantities. So the flour is equal quantity to the sugar to the butter, so it's really easy to remember. But you'll find the recipe and the exact measurements in the link just down below. Take a look at the colour of this. It's so vibrant and gorgeous because of the butter from the grass-fed cows and the really good quality eggs. So sieving in the last of my plain all-purpose flour, and then next goes in the baking powder, which is going to rise it. I always sieve it to get a lot more air in there and to make sure I don't get any lumps. And then next is the orange blossom mortar. The orange blossom is so beautiful with the strawberries and the rosemary. It goes so well together. So I'm going to pop this back on again. Sorry for the noise. And I'm doing that on a low blend because I just want to be light with it now. It's all about being light and lovely with it. While that's happening, I'm going to come back over here. So I've got 3 20-centimetre cake tins. You could line it as well with baking paper or parchment paper, but these are non-stick pans and I'm greasing them, so I don't really have any worries. I'm also going to dust them with a little bit of flour. Okay, and this is where my rosemary comes in. So you can do this with loads of different herbs. And then when I put the batter in, and I put them into the oven, the heat will come from underneath and it'll infuse the whole sponge with sweet rosemary. One tip I'll give you about making a sponge is that you don't want to overmix it. So the minute you start thinking, oh, is that mixing too much? Turn it off. Look at the colour of this guy. Like, that is what you call good quality ingredients. It still tastes fantastic. Oh my God, I could eat all this up. Cook's treats. So then with my batter, I want to divide it between the 3 cake tins that are greased and floured and lined with rosemary. smell of the orange blossom is quite gorgeous actually. Smooth it out. And you want to smooth out the dough evenly. Scrape every little bit from the bowl. Even now, as I'm putting the dough into the tins, I keep thinking like, yeah, I'm not gonna put everything in because I really want to eat this dough. And then, do any big air bubbles out. They need to go into a preheated oven. And I always try to put my cakes into the middle shelf. Now it's a bit tricky because I've got 3, so I'm putting the 2 on top and then the one is going in the lower one. So this one isn't going to rise as much as the others. So I'm going to leave them bake for 25 minutes. I will not be tempted to open that door. Hot suckers. So I'm going to let them cool in their tins for 10 minutes and then after that I'll take them out of the tins, straight onto the wire rack and let them cool completely. So to check that they're baked completely, you do a knife or skewer is even better. Test, you pop it in the center of the cake, take it out. If it's sticky or wet, that means it's not baked, but this is dry, so that means they're baked. So it's been 10 minutes and they've cooled quite a bit. So that's the advantage of using spring tins like this, is that it's so easy to get your cakes off it. And especially when they're, non-stick. You want to carefully slide them off the bottom of the tin. And the last one, voila. I need to let these cool completely because if I don't, the cream will melt and it will be a bit of a disaster. But you can see actually, if you look at here, the one that was on the bottom shelf, so these ones are perfectly risen and this little one didn't get the best rise because it was on the bottom one. So I'm going to put this one in the middle. So while they're cooling, I'm going to whisk up my cream. Give it a whisk. I always add in a bit of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar because it holds the whipped cream and also gives it a lovely kind of glossy finish. Cream is whisked. I'm going to add in my orange blossom water into it. About a tablespoon. Even if you're just serving, whipped cream with an apple tart or with a chocolate cake or something else, you can always add in different, waters or extracts into it. I'm also going to zest in an orange into it for just that real fresh orange flavour. When you're zesting, you just want to zest down the outer layer of the skin. You don't want to get into the white pith because the white pith is quite bitter. The orange blossom cream is pretty much nearly done. Doesn't that look gorgeous? All of the zest of the orange. I better taste it just in case. Yum. So I'll give you a little tip. When you're using a cake stand like this, so things can easily slide off it, which I would not like for it to happen to you, put a tiny dollop of cream down like this. And so what I want is the flat piece on top. So I'm going to pop that here, like that. And then I'm going to get some lovely homemade strawberry jam, or good quality shop bought, smear it all over it. I always tell people, think of the bite at the end of the day, like that's the most important thing. And then cream. It's going to squash out to the side anyhow. And again, bottoms up. The final piece on top. And then I'm going to do, so I've got my icing sugar, confectionery sugar. I'm all about creating moments, for suppers, You could mix in different fruit into this too if you wanted to. Blueberries and raspberries, but match it up with your jam. So if you are going to use blueberries on the top, match it up with blueberry jam. Do you think we'll fit one more? Maybe? Yeah! Is this not the most beautiful summer sponge cake that you've ever seen? So here we go. My beautiful orange blossom and rosemary sponge cake with fresh strawberries. You have to go make this, it's so beautiful. You'll find the recipe in the link below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next Thursday.